Hello, my little learners. In today's video, we will be discussing the questions and answers of Chapter 3 Mindful Eating A Path to a Healthy Body. I hope you have already watched the explanation videos of this chapter and understood it well. So, without wasting any time, let's begin with the first question. Pick the odd one out and give reasons. Jawar, bajra, ragi, chana. So students, we know jowar, bajra and ragi are millets while chana is a pulse, not a millet. So the odd one out is chana and the reason is chana is a pulse while the others are millets. In second part, the options are kidney beans, green gram, soya bean and rice. So the odd one out is rice and the reason is kidney beans, green gram and soya bean are legumes rich in protein. Rice is a cereal grain mainly rich in carbohydrates. Let's read question number 2. Discuss traditional versus modern culinary practices in India. Traditional versus modern culinary practices in India. So, in traditional Indian cooking, food was prepared on chulhas using firewood or cow dung cakes as fuel. In contrast, modern kitchens use gas stoves, microwaves, and induction cooktops that are quicker and cleaner. Earlier, people used manual tools like silbatta, chakki, mathni, and cooked in clay or metal pots. But today, we commonly use mixers, grinders, blenders, air fryers, and non-stick cookware, which save time and effort. Traditional cooking used fresh, seasonal, and locally available ingredients along with natural sweeteners like jaggery. On the other hand, modern cooking involves the use of packaged, frozen, and processed foods and ingredients like refined flour and white sugar. Traditional food was largely influenced by Ayurveda and local customs, whereas modern food is heavily influenced by global cuisine and fast food culture. And there are several reasons for this shift from traditional to modern cooking. First, technological advancements have made cooking faster and easier with modern kitchen appliances. Second, due to lifestyle changes, people now have less time to cook, so they prefer quicker meals. Third, globalization has exposed people to international cuisines, changing their taste and food choices. Lastly, better transportation systems have made it possible to get ingredients from different regions and countries easily, allowing more variety in cooking. Let's read question number 3. A teacher says that good food may act as medicine. Ravi is curious about this statement and had some questions for his teacher. List at least 2 questions that he can ask. So, here are 2 thoughtful questions that Ravi can ask his teacher. First, how can food work like medicine in our body? And second, can you give examples of foods that help fight diseases? Let's read question number 4. Not all delicious foods are necessarily healthy, while not all nutritious foods are always enjoyable. Share your thoughts along with a few examples. So, many foods that taste really good are often high in sugar, salt, fat, or artificial flavors, which can harm our health if eaten regularly. For example, pizza contains a lot of fat, cheese, and refined flour, while french fries are deep fried and high in salt and oil. Burgers often have processed ingredients and calorie rich sauces. Similarly, soft drinks are full of sugar and have no real nutrients, and candies and sweets are high in sugar with no fiber or vitamins. These foods are tempting, but eating them too often can lead to health problems like obesity, diabetes, and tooth decay. On the other hand, nutritious foods that are good for our body may not always be very tasty, especially for children. For instance, Karela is rich in vitamins and helps control blood sugar, while spinach is full of iron, calcium, and fiber. Sprouts are packed with protein and easy to digest. Broccoli contains antioxidants and vitamin C, and oats are full of fiber and support heart health. Even though these foods may taste bland or bitter to some people, they help us stay strong and disease free. So, in conclusion, we should try to balance our diet by enjoying tasty foods once in a while, but making healthy food a regular part of our meals. Nutritious food can also be made delicious with the right recipes and spices. For example, plain spinach can be turned into tasty palak paneer that most people will enjoy. Question number 5. Medhu does not eat vegetables but enjoys biscuits, noodles, and white bread. He often has stomach ache and constipation. What changes should he make in his diet to get rid of these problems? Explain your answer. Medhu's diet mostly consists of processed foods like biscuits, noodles, and white bread. These foods are made from refined flour and have very little fiber, which makes them hard to digest. Eating such foods regularly can lead to constipation and stomach aches. To get rid of these problems, Medhu should make some important changes in his diet. He should reduce or avoid biscuits, noodles, and white bread as they are low in fiber and difficult to digest. He should also avoid fried and junk foods as they can cause bloating, acidity, and slow down digestion. Instead, Medhu should start including fresh vegetables in his meals because they are rich in fiber, which helps to relieve constipation. He should also eat whole grains like brown bread, oats, and dalia as they contain more fiber than refined grains. Finally, he must drink plenty of water every day because water softens the stool and improves digestion. By making these healthy changes, Medhu can improve his digestion and avoid stomach related problems. Question number 6. Reshma had trouble seeing things in dim light. The doctor tested her eyesight and prescribed a particular vitamin supplement. He also advised her to include a few food items in her diet. So, which deficiency disease is she suffering from? So, Reshma is experiencing night blindness, which makes it difficult for her to see in low light. Which food component may be lacking in her diet? So, this condition is caused by a deficiency of vitamin A. Suggest some food items that she should include in her diet to overcome this problem. So, to overcome her problem, she should include the following four food items in her diet. Carrots. They are rich in beta carotene, which the body changes in vitamin A and helps improve eyesight. Spinach. This leafy green is a good source of vitamin A and supports healthy vision. Milk and dairy products. These foods contain a good amount of vitamin A and are important for overall eye health. Eggs, especially the egg yolk, is rich in vitamin A, which is essential for good vision, especially in dim light. Let's read question number 7. You are provided the following: canned fruit juice, fresh fruit. Which one would you prefer and why? So, I would prefer option number 3, fresh fruit. And there are two different ways to write the reason. First way is in comparison style. I would not choose canned fruit juice because it has preservatives and added sugar and may lose nutrients during processing. Fresh fruit juice is better than canned juice but still lacks fiber, which is important for digestion. So, fresh fruit is the best choice as it contains natural nutrients and fiber without any harmful additives. And second way is fresh fruit is the healthiest option. It provides natural sugar, fiber, vitamins, and minerals, all of which are important for our body. It also helps in digestion and does not contain any preservatives or added sugar, making it a complete and nutritious choice. So here I have shown you two different ways to write the answer. You can pick whichever style you like. Let's read question number 8. Gaurav got a fracture in his leg. His doctor aligned the bones and put on a plaster. The doctor also gave him calcium tablets. On the second visit, the doctor gave him vitamin D syrup along with calcium tablets. Refer to figure 3.5 and answer the following questions. Why did the doctor give calcium tablets to Gaurav? On the second visit, why did the doctor give vitamin D syrup along with calcium tablets? And what question arises in your mind about the choices made by the doctor in giving the medicines? So let's answer each part. The doctor gave calcium tablets to help in the healing of Gaurav's fractured bone. Calcium is essential for building and strengthening bones and teeth. Since Gaurav had a fracture, extra calcium was needed to support the formation of new bone tissues and help the bone heal faster. Answer of second part is vitamin D helps the body to absorb calcium effectively from the food and supplements. Without vitamin D, much of the calcium may pass through the body without being used. So, the doctor gave vitamin D syrup to ensure that Gaurav's body can absorb and use the calcium properly, which is important for strong and healthy bones. And a question that arises could be, why didn't the doctor give both calcium and vitamin D together from the beginning? Or is it necessary to take vitamin D separately when taking calcium tablets? So, students, we will discuss the answers to these questions as well because I know you are curious to know them too. So, the answer to the question, why didn't the doctor give both calcium and vitamin D together from the beginning, is the doctor first gave only calcium tablets to help Gaurav's broken bone heal. When Gaurav went for the second checkup, the doctor may have seen that the bone was not healing fast or the calcium was not working well. So the doctor added vitamin D syrup. This is because vitamin D helps the body absorb calcium properly. Without vitamin D, the calcium we eat might not reach the bones. And the answer to the question, is it necessary to take vitamin D separately when taking calcium tablets, is yes. In many cases, it is necessary to take vitamin D along with calcium because vitamin D helps the body absorb calcium properly. Without enough vitamin D, the calcium from food or tablets may not be absorbed well by the body and it may not reach the bones where it's needed the most. So, even if you are taking calcium tablets, they might not be fully effective without vitamin D. Let's read question number 9. Sugar is an example of carbohydrates. Sugar is tested with iodine solution, but it does not change to blue black color. What can be a possible reason? So, students, we know iodine turns blue black only when starch is present, and starch is a complex carbohydrate, but sugar is a simple carbohydrate. So, iodine does not react with sugar, so there is no color change when we add iodine to sugar. Let's students, let's understand the second point in detail. Starch is a complex carbohydrate and sugar is a simple carbohydrate. Both starch and sugar are made from glucose, but they are different in structure. Starch is made of many glucose units joined together in a long chain, while sugar is made of only two units of glucose, so it is a simple carbohydrate. When we add iodine to starch, it turns blue black, which shows starch is present. But when we add iodine to sugar, there is no color change because iodine does not react with sugar. So I hope this is clear now and you don't have any doubts. Let's read question number 10. What do you think of Raman's statement? All starches are carbohydrates, but not all carbohydrates are starches. Describe the design of an activity to test your answer. So Raman's statement is correct. All starches are carbohydrates, but not all carbohydrates are starches. Carbohydrates consist of sugars, starches, and fibers. Starches are long chains of glucose, while simple sugars and fibers are also carbohydrates but not starches. Activity testing different types of carbohydrates. Materials needed are iodine solution, food samples like potato, rice, sugar crystals, honey, fruits, and raw vegetables, small containers or plates, dropper, labels, and a pen item. Steps are place each food sample in a separate container, label the containers, add a few drops of iodine solution to each food item using a dropper, and watch carefully and note any color change. And expected observations are foods like potato and rice, which contain starch, will turn blue black. Foods like sugar and honey, which contain simple sugars, will show no color change. Raw vegetables and fruits, which mostly contain fiber or simple sugars, will also show no change. So, conclusion is only starch containing foods react with iodine to give a black blue color. Sugars and fibers do not react with iodine. This shows that while starch is a type of carbohydrate, not all carbohydrates like sugar and fiber are starch. Question number 11. While using iodine in the laboratory, a few drops of iodine fell on Misty's socks and a few fell on her teacher's sari. The drops of iodine on the sari turned blue black while the color on the socks did not change. What can be a possible reason? So, the possible reason is that the teacher's sari had some starch in its fabric while Misty's socks did not. Iodine gives a blue black color only when starch is present. Many cotton clothes, especially saris, are often starched to make them stiff and neat. So, when iodine fell on the teacher's sari, it reacted with the starch in the fabric and turned blue black. Misty's socks likely did not have starch in them, so no color change happened. Let's read question number 12. Why are millets considered a healthy choice of food? Can eating just millets suffice for the nutritional requirements of the body? Exam. So, students, I will show you both short and long answers. So, you can write them based on how many marks the question carries. Short answer. Millets are healthy because they are rich in fiber, proteins, and minerals, help in digestion, control blood sugar, and are gluten free. However, eating only millets is not enough for complete nutrition. Our body also needs fruits, vegetables, pulses, dairy products, and healthy fats for vitamins like B12 and C and other nutrients. So, millets are a good food choice, but they should be eaten as part of a balanced iron. Long answer. Millets are considered healthy because rich in nutrients, so they are packed with fiber, proteins, vitamins, and minerals. Good for digestion. Their high fiber content helps prevent constipation and improves gut health. Gluten free, suitable for people with gluten in the body. Help control blood sugar. Millets have a low glycemic index, which means they release sugar slowly into the blood. No, eating only millets cannot provide all the nutrients the body needs because millets lack some essential nutrients, especially vitamin B12, vitamin C, and good fats. Our body needs a balanced diet that includes fruits and vegetables for vitamins and minerals, pulses for protein, dairy products for calcium and vitamin B12, healthy fats from nuts, seeds, oils, and adequate water. So, millets are a very healthy and nutritious food option and should definitely be part of our regular diet. But for complete nutrition, they should be eaten along with a variety of other foods to ensure the body gets all the essential nutrients. Question number 13. You are given a sample of a solution. How would you check the possibility of it being an iodine solution? To check if the given sample is iodine solution, we can perform a starch test since iodine reacts with starch to give a blue-black color. So for starch test, add a few drops of the solution to a small amount of starch like boiled rice or a cut potato piece and observe the color change. If the solution is iodine, the starch will turn blue-black, and if there is no color change, then the solution is not iodine. That's it, my little learners. We have now completed chapter 3, Mindful Eating, a Path to a Healthy Body. I hope you understood everything well. This chapter is now complete. See you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.